charity is, this is what I always say to people when I talk about charity, is that it's something that shows you the worst and the best in humankind. All right.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is another episode of Another Day in Paradise.
Yes.
And I am with Reda.
And I am with Jawad.
Yes, you are. Yes, sir. So I saw some videos. I spent a lot of time on YouTube and just wasting a lot of time procrastinating on my phone. This is like bad. But anyways, we should. So I saw a video, and of course, because of the algorithm, like it leads you to another one, the same style, etc., etc.
Yeah. It always starts with one.
And you go into that
usually
rabbit
it's a small
hole.
cat
That
or
rabbit
a dog.
hole,
Yeah.
man. That's dangerous. But anyways, and I saw a couple videos of people donating money and being generous.
Oh yeah,
On camera.
That's crazy. The new feature where you can actually
Oh
tip
no,
the
I wasn't
people.
talking about that, but we should do it. You
Yeah.
can just directly say thank you. They call it super thanks or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
where you can it's a heart with a dollar sign in it, and you can just click on it, and apparently you can tip us. Wink, wink. So we desperately need it at this
Please.
point. So
Por
for the
favors.
for the 5 listeners. But no, I was telling you about people who are, at one point the videos that were very popular were pranks videos. That was like big hit. Like you make and of course most of them were fake, but it didn't really matter. Like it's just like whatever. I'm gonna.
It's entertaining.
It is
either way.
entertaining. And now it seems like it's videos about people being generous and donating money to homeless and saying, "Hey guy, hey sir,
Yeah.
are you having a hard time? Yeah. Are you? The situation is bad, huh? Yeah, it's really bad. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? What would make you happy today? Well, I don't know. I just would like, just a roof over my head just for one night or two. I would love to take a shower. Well, you know what? You're in luck today.
Follow me.
Follow me. And they
Yeah.
take him to a restaurant and he eats and they pay for like a 1 week of hotel. Anyways. And I'm always wondering, I honestly, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with this because you're using his rough patch and rough situation. His he's in a hole now. And they're like, yeah, sir, life is hard, right? And how do you feel now? Like, dude, just... In my opinion, it's like, be generous. You don't need to show it on camera. But the other argument is well, that's how I'm able to be generous. Is I show it on camera, I make income, and then I use this income to help people. So, what is your take on this? Do you feel like it's good?
It's. I understand your position of
Thank you.
of it being uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, it's hard to say in these particular situations, but it's a transaction basically.
Yes.
Someone sells his image against something, whether it's financial aid, whether it's
Okay.
another type of aid. Because I recently started working on online marketing for charities.
Yes.
And it's kind of similar. So basically, in order to get people to donate to someone, you need to kind of I don't like this term, but sell his story
Yeah.
to the people. So you're actually, a lot of people look at that and say, oh, you're taking advantage or whatever. But unfortunately, that's what it takes, because in order to sensitivize,
I'm not sure it's a word, but
yes, to sensitize.
Oh, yes, you were close. I feel like.
Yeah,
Anyways.
sensitivize. let's stick to that. People.
Okay.
You usually need to put a face on the story. Like if I tell you, there's 10,000 kids that died in Africa from malnutrition, it's not gonna hit you as hard as meet.
It's Karim.
Karim.
It's like
He's 3 years old, but
He's
he
struggling,
looks like,
etc.,
he's,
etc..
90 years old. He's suffering from malnutrition, and you show images of him being all
yeah.
skinny and stuff, and he looks at you and says something like "Help me, please" or something like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna hit you, and that's gonna what's gonna enable you to actually like feel like concerned and actually donate. But there's always like those two sides. Like
There's a thin line, like
there's a very thin line. But
True.
at the end of the day, I think that you should ask the people that are giving
Yeah.
their image and that are receiving whatever they're receiving, what would they prefer?
Okay, but if you don't expose them a little bit, like if they say, "No, man, I'm sorry, I have my dignity, and if you want to help me.
Mhm.
But if you want to use my image, I prefer not to advertise my poverty and my
But
struggle."
most people would tell you that are struggling, it's okay to use my image because if as long as you're not using it in a bad way. Because some YouTubers come and be like, find a homeless guy and be like, okay, if I make you the most ridiculous haircut, I give you $100.
Yeah, that's definitely degrading. That's degrading.
That's
for sure.
degrading. Or
Absolutely.
like I don't know. It was like
Two homeless fighting, like if
yeah,
you
like
yeah,
a homeless
they made them
fights
fight.
or
Yeah.
or like can I punch you in the face for
Yeah,
for some money and
or
stuff?
like skaters, they said, "Can I jump over you?" And I think
Yeah.
South Park did an episode about that.
So those kind of things are degrading. But if it's someone that really is struggling to eat, I don't think he minds that.
Well, okay, so a
if
couple
it's
things.
actually gonna help him, and there's two types of helps.
Okay.
Let me
Of
just
help,
finish
yeah,
on
yeah, sure.
of help. Sorry,
Yeah.
on this point is that there's like the immediate help, and there is like the sustainable help.
Okay, that's a very
So
good point.
that also plays a part.
Yeah.
And what you do with those funds, because a lot of people use that image. Okay, they make $10,000, they give $500 to the guy.
Yeah.
Is that really ethical?
But also like the short term and long term. Are you really helping him, or are you just because one night or two nights in a hotel, it's not gonna help him really?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's great help. So I was I was doing some charity work when I just got in Morocco, and I don't want to name the thing because it's still going on and it's going on. It's pretty strong. It's going strong. But we were helping homeless and giving them free meal, of course, but a warm meal. That's what I meant. And we were, of course, the homeless in Rabat. You have to go look for them. So we wait for them to settle where they are usually settled in the city. So we go around and we have like rounds starting at 10 or 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And then we go find them at their usual spots. And usually we wake them up and we say, "Hey, sir, excuse me, do you need, do you want food?" They always say yes, always. Some of them say, "Yeah, and my friend is coming right now. He's actually, can I have one for him?" No problem. So, number one, the food was not fantastic. Of course, it was not lobster, but what I mean, it was just like rice and a tiny bit of meat. So,
Which is
not
already
food.
a lot for a lot of people.
Well, but it's not food that they don't really have access to, like fairly cheap, because they can like beg for money, and this is like
Yeah, but when the meal is not,
I know,
it's
but
not a given. It's
that's true.
always,
No, it's always good help. But
yeah.
what they told us to do is like, well, first night I was going with them, or second time, so they do it once a week. The big boss of my city, Rabat, she said, "Well, I would love if you. I mean, we should try to take more pictures of them. I know they don't like it, but hey, Jawad, do you want to start? Let's try to take pictures. Maybe they will not say anything when you're here, considering I'm like a big guy, whatever. Like I'm a man, and like when I'm two women, it's easier to like say what the fuck are you doing?" And I said, "Well, like if they don't like it, which is understandable, like why do we do it? Well, because we needed to put content on the website, etc., etc. That's what helped us. So that's a dilemma. Like we need to show that, to show misery, to have donations and help them. But if we just tell people about it without showing them what it looks like, then they will be less sensitive to the matter, to the topic. And but I still feel uncomfortable with it, and I said, no, I'm not gonna take pictures.
By definition,
Yeah,
the action that you need to put in place in order to get people to help out is uncomfortable.
yeah,
Like it's never cool, and for all layers, like the guys that are running the operations, the guys that are doing video editing,
True.
because they did they go all day. They spend on looking misery,
True,
misery,
and they have
and
to
it's not easy,
emphasize
and
it.
it's not easy at
No,
all.
and also they have to emphasize it to have the right angle, the right music,
Hmm.
to really play on this and fall on it hard. Like you have to lean on it really hard, or like show misery. Like if he's, like slow motions and black and white pictures
Hmm.
and classical music, and
And you
it
need to
works.
respect as well the people that are on those images, like not show them in a, like you said, keep as much as possible a part of dignity intact and things like that. So it's an uncomfortable situation
It
to
is.
start with.
It is to deal with misery. Like just when you
Yeah.
see beggars on the streets, you try to ignore them, and it feels uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for him, and it's uncomfortable for you.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so like you said. So the other thing that you mentioned. So to finish up with this organization that I was with for a very brief time, like a couple months, and then I stopped because I just didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't feel like it was really providing help, because the food. One day a policeman stopped us. And he said, "What are you guys doing?" And we said, "Well, oh well, congrats, guys. That's great to see young people
Hmm.
doing this, and you are the future. You're helping your country. That's fantastic. We love it, etc." And then I said, "So you are on the field. You are in the streets all day, every day. You know the
Hmm.
solution. So what do you think? Do you think we have a real impact? What do you think about this? What can we do? What more can we do?" And he said, "Well," and he was very, very, very nice, and like he had a lot of tact. And he said, "Listen, do you think in Morocco we die of hunger?"
No.
No, we definitely don't. I don't have the statistics, but we don't. Okay, because food is cheap. Piece of bread, loaf of bread
No,
is
and
like one
also
dirham,
like
etc., etc.
within the religious part of things,
They cover all those
like
extremely poor
yeah,
people.
like people often give out food.
Yeah, but
Uh,
also like if you beg for money, you can, you will not eat lobster every day, but you will eat
yeah.
a piece
No,
of
and
bread, a
people
sandwich. You
give
can have a
food.
sandwich every day by begging for like
Like
an
I think
hour.
I don't know anyone in Morocco that to whom you would ask within the culture, "I'm hungry," and wouldn't give you food.
True, true.
Money is another issue. All
Yes,
the other stuff is different,
but
but
food,
food,
that's it.
I don't think it's the main
That's
issue.
not the main issue. So he said, so what are you doing actually is you are giving them a warm meal, which they surely appreciate, but this organization will be here forever and homeless will be here forever,
It's
because
not
you're not really
sustainable.
solving a problem, because you can come back and next year you will have maybe more homeless people. But the same homeless guy, you were not part of the solution. You are just pushing back his poverty, like technically.
Yes and no,
I don't
because
know.
what you need to understand in charity in general, you have the long term sustainable and everything, but
Yeah.
you also have immediate relief, and for a lot of people, being in a precarious situation is not only hard physically and things; it's also hard mentally, and like you said, like a 2 day break where they sleep in a nice place and they take a shower goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Like, and when it comes to charity, and this is my personal belief, if you can do something long term sustainable, do it. But a step forward is a step forward.
I agree.
Uh,
But we should focus our effort to provide a long-term solution. We
100%.
should like building wells, having installing electricity in a
Mm-hmm.
village, education. That's one of my big topic, and I think you give them education. It might not have results tomorrow, but in a couple of years, with
Yes,
education, they
100%.
can like don't give them a fish, show them how to fish themselves, and they can capture a fish.
100%. But
So
it's harder to put in place.
absolutely, but that's
That's the
where
main
the
issue.
efforts should be focused. That's where the money should be focused, not on giving them a meal. And I agree with you. Maybe that's all they need, just 2 days to relax, have
No,
a clean
basically,
shower, and then
it's
boom, they
you need
can.
both things
You
hand
need
in hand
both.
for sure.
But the most important
But if
thing
you
for me
cannot
is
do one, at least do the latter. You know.
True, but what I told this association, and that's why we stopped with them, because I was there. That's where I met my wife, and I decided to stop, and she was madly in love. So she said, "Yeah, why not? I'll stop too." No, but we were both convinced that we would stop for the same reason. And she said, "You know what? We can give them education. We can train them. We should open centers where we can orient them to find a job, have them help them with their resume, etc., etc." That would be a mission that I would love to participate. And then right after that, we started donating our time and teaching English in a small village, which
is amazing.
which to me has a more impact. And we, taught them English, but also encouraged them and showed them that education, yes, farming is good and you need to help your parents in farms, etc., but education is the long-term solution. Now the other thing is Africa. That's a big theme in charity.
Of course.
We always helping Africans, but it's a little bit. One day I went to Starbucks, and I don't know if I told this story here, but I saw like buckets of bottles of water, and they were for sale. And if you buy one of them, and they had like a big sign, showing like typical, mother carrying water tanks and the baby carrying his little bottle, helping mommy, etc., etc. From Africa, or the African image that people have from Africa, because Morocco is also Africa, Egypt is Africa, South Africa is Africa, and some white people in South Africa. So a lot of stereotypical things here. But anyways, and they said, we will donate, let's help build or dig or build wells and find the water, make water available for those African villages, etc., etc. Number one is, what do you mean Africa? Like,
exactly.
Where in Africa? Like, is it Morocco? Is it Angola? Is it Mozambique? Is it Mauritania? Is it Egypt? Is it Morocco? And then I read the bottle, and I saw the bottle was pretty expensive. It was almost like $4 or $5, and they gave 5 cents to Africa if you read the fine prints. And I told the guy at the counter, I said, this bottle is like $4.45, and you give 5 cents to Africa. So you're using their pain and suffering to actually sell a lot more water. So technically, you're not lying. You're probably helping Africa. You're sending them
that's the
couple
thing.
$100?
Nowadays, especially since the digital era and things like that, charity becomes a selling.
Do you want more tea?
No. Oh, yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Sorry, interrupted you.
Thank you. So it becomes a selling point, like a competitive advantage, if you will. So
Africa is a key word.
Like, for instance, there was this huge movement of drop shipping, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Right? One of the best. So when you do drop shipping, you start looking into techniques to build trust, encourage people to pay and stuff like that. So basically, there's shops that would see the light of day. They just go on AliExpress, find any element of clothing or object that has to do with pandas, for instance. They just put pandas everywhere on the site and say, this is the store, which mission is to save the pandas. We're giving away this percentage of all profits.
Yeah.
But the person that's doing the store or whatever doesn't give a flying fuck about pandas. It's just like a way. No, for a lot.
To buy conscious.
I've seen like forums and stuff. They're like, oh, you should try pandas. It's trending.
I thought you meant the people who are buying the items with the pandas.
People who are buying,
they do care.
They do care. And like I told you, I started charity work, Umar Relief, and I see the donations coming in, and some of them are amazing. Like in terms of amounts,
people are generous,
very generous all over the world. and from every ethnicity, religion. Like there, I would have thought that maybe like, oh, you're showing, I don't know, like kids from Muslim areas,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be more inclined to see Muslim donors and things like that. But
Yeah. All
it's
ethnicity, all
honestly like
religions. Yeah.
and it's charity is, this is what I always say to people when I talk about charity, is that it's something that shows you the worst and the best in humankind.
Yeah.
And it's really that, because on one hand you see like amazing stuff, on the other like you see people that are just there to make money. Like I was trying to reach out to charities in Morocco to start
Yeah. Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
some
You
stuff.
told me that story. That's pretty cool.
And the
So what
fir-
happened? Tell
so
the
yeah,
story because that's
so
cool.
so basically we're looking for projects to finance, because we have we're basically specializing in collecting funds for different campaigns and cases that we're treating mostly in like third world countries and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have like overlaps, like people donate more than the goal that we want or something like
Yeah.
that. So we have this fund that's, for instance, for children or for natural disasters, for a theme that we want to like finance projects linked to that. And I tried to reach out to see if there was things that we could do here in Morocco.
Mm.
And maybe out of the five organizations I tried contacting, like four of them, like the presidents,
The guy in charge. Let's put it this
guys
way.
in charge, the first question they ask is, "What's in it for me?"
That's honestly that's shocking.
And I'm like, "What's in it for?" The first time I heard that, I was like, "Oh, what's in it for you?" Like as an organization.
No, for my pocket.
And I started like I took it that way. So I started explaining like, for your organization, what we're gonna do is we're gonna finance it. We want you to.
He says,
handle
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
organization."
Well, skip that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just skip to the good part.
And I'm like the naive guy, and I'm like, "What do you mean you?" He's like, "Me.
Personally.
Why would I
Help you.
why would I,
Facilitate that, yeah.
Facilitate that."
That's crazy.
And man,
I think that's there is a lot of fraud in charity work,
you see, like I told you, you see the best and the worst,
Yeah.
and the absolute worst.
and it's because it's tax free and you can like take a lot of money and like some big corporations. Some people realize that
Bro,
we had
I don't want to market this to people,
Yeah.
but basically, I don't know if I should say this.
yeah, you should,
but,
you should. We have 20 listeners.
But basically, if you take an image
Yeah.
that's of a charity thing, you set up even a fake charity. You don't even most donors, they don't even check if you're legit or not.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the amount of money you can make just by
Collect.
running ads on social media. Like you can do 2x, 3x of an amount. You start with $100, you make $200-300 a day.
Yeah. That's
And
That's
for
scary.
people
With
man,
bad
it's,
intentions, it's
people
easy
with
money.
bad intentions and that are going for easy money. Like who needs drugs nowadays?
Yeah. No.
Pablo Escobar. If he
Pablo
was still
Escobar
alive right
he-
now, he'd probably be doing something in that area.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of scams, unfortunately, because.
Mhm.
But also, I think it's also a sign that people try to buy. They try to buy like how do I say this? A conscious, like I help people, but you don't really follow where the money is going and really do your research. You're like, I'm a good guy. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
good
but then again, they did their part.
I agree. It's not their fault at all. I think the bad people are the one who are creating fake and scams, etc.
Us as an organization, we try to find organizations that are doing things. We try to do our due diligence, find out what they are doing. But we're talking about places that are like in like a small village in the middle of a desert. There's no electricity, no water, let alone bank accounts and all that. So basically, even us, when we're donating to our partners, we don't have 100%
Yeah.
guarantees.
Listen,
Like
there needs to be a little bit of trust. There's no way you can
of
follow
course,
the thing
of
all
course.
the way up to
No,
like
especially
show me your
when there's
account and show me
no
your
trail, like there's no money trail, like
Yeah.
uh, even the invoices
Yeah.
in some parts of the world, it's just a piece of paper with a writing on it that is that has
No,
no
I
value.
agree. I think this
So
is
so at some points, when it comes to charity and when it comes to things that are where you're really trying to help and everything, if you're with the right intentions, at least do your part.
yeah. And
Because
then
you won't be able to control anyways.
that's true. That's true.
the matter.
I saw like the scams on charity are very big, and sometimes they mix religion and charity. That's also a lot of scams there because they mix poverty and religion, and like they will catch you in one way or another. They will get you one way or another. I saw like an old lady. I saw a video of a guy who, because I just recently bought an electric bike, so I'm watching some videos, etc. And this guy is like riding his bike and he's delivering food in LA with his bike, and he was taking a break, and an old woman said, "Hi, would you like to buy a ticket?" And he said, "No, sorry, I don't have any cash. No, I have tickets, so you can help us build a church." And he said, "Yeah, probably a scam. Like she's old and she has like old wrinkled tickets, and like she wants to, like she's grabbing them from her purse. Let me just show you the tickets." And the tickets were all wrinkled, etc. And yeah, because when the heart is speaking, then the brain is shutting off. So when you
course.
think with emotions, that's when your logic and your common sense is a little bit like diminished. So like, oh well, I need to help like orphans. Yeah, but your brain would tell you like, okay, let's make sure this
Yeah.
company is legit. But yeah, okay, I'll help
And
the children.
it's also the responsibility of the charities and the organizations to present themselves like you don't just to make an analogy, you need to come up with your ID, not to wait for them to ask you for an ID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like because this old lady, maybe she's making the church. You have zero guarantees.
Maybe that's
And it's
true.
the same
Maybe,
thing.
but
And you know, here in Morocco, we have a lot of beggars in the street, right?
yeah.
And we help out when we can, things like that. But there's a lot of professional beggars in the street as well.
Yes, even in the States actually, but
Yeah,
keep going. Yeah,
just to take
like when they finish their shift, they jump into a nice car, nicer
Yeah,
than
yeah,
yours, and they'll go
exactly.
shopping. Like, what
which
the
is
fuck just happened?
mind blowing. But anyways, usually when you kind of interact with one of the scammers,
Yeah,
you punish the whole lot
true.
because me personally, I try to do the opposite. I'm like, if he's scamming me, let him scam me.
Yeah.
You know, like. But the next one maybe he won't.
Yeah, I did my part. I cannot
part.
judge all
Because-
of them. That's true.
because that's the thing. Like I told you, in this particular subject, you see the best and the worst.
Yeah, and also like the thing
That
about
should be the catchphrase.
that should be the catchphrase. I was trying to place another one in, but check this one out.
Okay.
Don't help Africa.
Okay, he wants to have views.
No, you know what? Like, no, but what I mean by don't help Africa, it's like,
Yeah, like you can't.
dude, if you see help Africa, ask yourself a question. When they say, oh, from New York to Africa, hold on a second. New York State, New York City, and then a continent. Like, we are not all the same. Africa has been used, they had a concert with Michael Jackson and all. We are the world.
Yeah.
Help Africa, help this. Like, dude, listen. Africa is a continent. We are not all the same. And it's a little bit insulting to say, well, to call Americans Canadians or to call Canadians. You have your own identity. You have a lot of similarities, but you have your own identity. It would be rude to call you by the name of your brother or your cousin. And that's what those ads and those charities do all the time. They use the word Africa because they know they punch you right in the heart when they say African kids, and they show you black young kids, etc.
African kids.
Like, listen, like, because they play on different catchphrases, like Africa and kids and the women. So stereotyping, and you know, some stereotyping could be good and like okay, but most of that, like it's like they hit you right where they need to, and like it's your sensitive thing. So yeah, and the other thing that I was gonna mention is, you know, my mom, she does also a lot of charity work, and she told me one thing one day that was really really cool, and she said. So she's helping a lot of children, and then they grew up, and then they are very 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 thankful for this help. And one day she told me something. She said, and it's hard work. If you want to do it really well, and like she takes care of some orphanage, etc., etc. It's hard work,
especially mentally.
Yeah. Mentally, it's like very taxing for sure. And she said, they think I'm helping them, but in reality, they are helping me because
100%.
it makes me feel alive.
100%.
So it goes both ways. Like it's doing charity work is so rewarding. Like it's hard work emotionally and physically, but it's so rewarding to see the impact that you can have and that your association can have. So yeah, we should. I know, and you know, poverty. It's not the lack of money. I think it's just.
It's a combination of lack of money, lack of education, lack of opportunity.
But I think it's because, for example, people die of hunger in the world. Some people die of hunger. But it's not because we don't have enough food on the planet. It's because some people decide to hold that food to make the price go up and down, etc., etc. And I think we should just, you know, get together and like change. If we decide to stop poverty, we could. It's not about money. We don't need to throw money in it. It's like, you know, Elon Musk said, okay, if you give me whatever, I'll give you 6 billion or whatever to get rid of.
But that's the thing. When I tell you it's a combination of a lot of things, is that, for instance, there are villages in certain parts of the world where they have water, but the water
is not accessible.
No, you can't drink it.
Yeah.
Because... and sometimes it's an easy treatment.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So you can bring in some like a treatment facility or something like that. But then not anyone can come and manage a treatment facility.
True.
And you're not going to take someone from an engineer from I don't know which country and tell him, oh, you're going to live there to handle that if you're not paying him a lofty sum of money.
Sure.
So you need to find someone local, but you need to educate him. And so it's like those multiple challenges, but
of course,
for sure, it is solvable.
Yeah,
if you kind of like accept the loss.
True, but it's not solvable just if you throw money on it.
No, because
you just need to want to solve it.
Okay,
have an organization and organize in that way.
There's a lot of factors. It's like if I take chief of a village in Africa, right?
What do you mean in Africa?
In Africa, right? And that guy, very nice guy, very well intentioned, never went to school, doesn't know much about anything else than what's happening in his village. You tell him, okay, I'm gonna give you 100K.
You will ruin him
to make your life better. What is it? How
he wouldn't know how to manage it.
Manage it. How would we plan it? How he'll be like, okay, so let's buy food, or like he wouldn't think of
infrastructures, etc. Yeah.
Stuff. So money doesn't solve a problem.
That's true.
100%.
That's true. I mean, the solution is not just money. And people think, oh, I need to donate money. Sometimes donate time, donate education, donate a lot of stuff that you can donate.
100%.
Help organize, help build
money
structures.
Solves for immediate relief.
Yeah.
In most cases. Immediate relief, money solves it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Somebody needs an operation. Somebody needs this. Somebody... They just got hit by some kind of natural disaster. They need tents, whatever. You can throw money, get them that immediate relief done. But then what?
Yeah. The long-term solution doesn't come with money. Like structuring societies and structuring groups and groups of people that can help relieve the situation. That's what's needed, not money.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should wrap it up for today.
It sounds
All
good.
good. All
But
right.
it was
Well,
a
thank
nice
you. It was nice topic.
subject, and
I will see you. Don't forget to subscribe, to like. If we can manage to get that donated money button, I think there is probably a limit. Like you need at least 30 views or something. Some kind of crap like that. It wouldn't be that easy. But hey, just follow us, comment,
yeah.
share conversations. We will gladly answer any
if
comments. And
by any chance you want to sit down and have a talk,
hey, you
by all
know,
means.
we could do that. We can do. We can even do phone calls. You know, where we could like include people by phone. I think I can manage that on that little thingy. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Peace
Cool.
out.
Thank you guys.